Hey truth seekers, welcome back. Zach here. This video is about why Hillary clinched the Democratic nomination June 6th, 2016. Her clinching on this date doesn't have anything to do with voting or delegates. It has everything to do with the scripted world of news and politics and government that we live in. If you're new to my channel, I am exposing beyond a shadow of a doubt how the world of current events is rigged and scripted. I've done a lot of work on Hillary Clinton going back more than a year, showing why she is to be the next president. It's not because anybody wants her. It's because she's scripted to be for this moment in history. So we'll get to why she was chosen June 6th. I just want to take you back in time in case you've missed my work leading up to this point. Last year, after Time magazine released this article, I did a video on it. Hillary Clinton is the perfect age to be president. This was published April 3rd, 2015, a date with 42 numerology. 42, a very special number to the Freemasons. The word female equals 42, lady equals 42, bitch equals 42, the word for a female dog. Female and Jewish gematria also sums to 67. International Women's Day is March 8th, the 67th day of the year, not by coincidence. This is how this Time magazine begins. At 67, Hillary Clinton is now a woman of a certain age. The article goes on to talk about why, this is perfect. Post-menopause. Really what it's all about is these numbers. These numbers are what have contrived our history. Our history is scripted according to numbers and the relationships between words and numbers, which is known as gematria, esoteric knowledge kept secret by the Masons who rule over us. As for Time writing about the president and who's the perfect age to be president, that also stands out because Time is a word with 47 gematria, just like the word president. The name Hillary Clinton in Pythagorean gematria sums to 73, just like the word perfect. If she is to become the next president, she'll take office at age 69. Her first term will end at age 73. And I'm not sure about her having a second term. I haven't looked that far down the road. But I do see why she is the perfect age to be president as a female, announcing her campaign when she was 67, connecting to female. What a lot of people don't realize is the next president to take office will be the 44th person. Right now, Obama's number 44, but he's really only the 43rd person to be president. Obama was elected on a date with 43 numerology. He gave his acceptance speech in Grant Park. Grant Park has gematria of 43. He became the 43rd person to be president because Grover Cleveland is the only president that occupied two different number slots because he had a divided term. He was the 22nd president and then the 24th president. So the count's been off ever since 24. The 25th president was really the 24th person, all the way up to Obama. Anyhow, what's interesting about 44 is when you write it out, it sums to 144. Hillary Rodham, her birth name, has this gematria of 144. She might very well become the 44th person to be president. Born October 26th in the year 47, born in Chicago, Illinois. March 8th, International Women's Day, the 67th day of the year. We're going to come back to Hillary, but with her being born in Chicago, I want to make an important point about Bill Clinton, her husband. Bill Clinton was not born Bill Clinton. He was born William Jefferson Blythe. His biological father, William Jefferson Blythe Sr., was murdered May 17th, 1946. About the same time Hillary was born, about the same time George W. Bush was born, about the same time Donald Trump was born. This was just months before Bill Clinton himself was born. His biological father died while his mother was pregnant with him. May 17th is the 137th day of the year. This stands out in a big way. Washington, D.C., where the president resides, equals 137. Authority equals 137. American meridian equals 137. That's the meridian that runs through Washington, D.C. 137 is the 33rd prime. It's the headquarters for the federal government. Federal equals 33. This day his father died, May 17th, 1946, with a date with 33 numerology. The name Clinton, the small way, equals 33. That date also had numerology of 87, and the name Clinton in gematria, the big way, sums to 87. This small way, this big way, Pythagorean gematria, simple English gematria, these are the two methods that account for 90% of my work. You know, sometimes I'll talk about Jewish gematria and English gematria, but this is mostly where it's at. And you learn these two systems, you see all throughout history how this kind of stuff's been going on. So, Bill Clinton's father is murdered by the numbers. Years later, before Bill Clinton goes off to Ivy League school, where he crosses paths with George W. Bush, the president to follow after him, he takes on the name Clinton. And where does the name Clinton come from? It comes from the original governors of New York. George Clinton became the fourth vice president to Madison, a Masonic Zionist agent. So the Clintons are a political dynasty family. Most people have forgotten about the Clintons of the past and now just look at Bill and Hillary. But anyhow, Bill Clinton's father, murdered by the numbers. By no coincidence, he takes on a name that has gematria matching the date of his father's murder. And something that some people will question, they'll say, well, is any of this history even true? How do we even know Bill Clinton ever had this father or this mother? And to you, I say, cheers, that's a great point. This whole history could be contrived. For all I know, they're growing these Manchurian politicians, these Manchurian athletes in test tubes, you know? To me, the people who govern over us, they are true sociopaths. I've met some sociopathic people in my time, but not at the rate that we get for these people in elected office. I often wonder where they do come from. Heartless, soulless people. Agents, deceivers, liars. So anyhow, his father, when he died, he was traveling back from Chicago to Hope, Arkansas, where Bill Clinton was born, their hometown supposedly. Hillary from Chicago, the Zionist Masonic Mecca. Right now the mayor of Chicago is Ram Israel Emanuel, whose birthday is on the date that Israel was recognized as a nation. Ram Emanuel in gematria equals 666. The false Jews, which he's one of, are the synagogue of Satan. They're all about their numbers. So anyhow, this headline when Hillary won, it's the exact same picture CNN used when Donald Trump clinched, the all-back background. Clinched has gematria 58 like Freemasonry. It's Freemasonry running the show. She clinches on what date? June 6th. 6/6. Woman in simple English gematria is 66. When this headline came out, it was late in the day, meaning in other parts of the world it was already June 7th. Again, female equals 67 in Jewish gematria. But here it is, you know, the headline for the morning of June 7th, the evening of June 6th, by the numbers. It was also a date with 21 numerology, woman the small ways, 21. From the date she clinched, June 6th, to the election, November 8th, is 156 days. What's so special about that? Remember the name Clinton equals 33. When you write out the word 33, it sums to 156. When you write out February 2nd, it equals 156. February 2nd is the 33rd day of the year, Groundhog's Day. When you write out as above, so below, it equals 156. The Zionist state of Israel, they use the Star of David, two three-sided triangles, a physical representation of 33 that also represents the phrase, as above, so below. Israel created with a 33-member vote from the United Nations that has their symbol of the flat earth divided into 33 parts. That vote of 33 to recognize Israel came on the date November 29th, the 333rd day of the year, 333. Clinton 33, her initials, Hillary Diane Rodham Clinton, 33. You know, I want to make the point, when Hillary became First Lady, When Bill became president in 93, we had the 93 World Trade Center bombing. 8 years later, Bush becomes president. We have 9/11. The Clintons go back to New York's. The Bushes and the Clintons in school together in Ivy League school. This is all a gang, a network, running the show. People not elected. People that go on the TV, dupe the masses. Some people go out and vote for them because they're sheep. And then they just put in who is ever in office that they want, you know? They just put numbers and percentages on the screen telling you who won. They didn't count any of the votes. It's always a joke. But anyhow, 93 World Trade Center bombing, September 11th, 2001. With regards to George W. Bush, he graduated from college in 1968, 33 years before he became president. He graduated from Skull and Bones, a Masonic order. The Masons obsessed with 33. They call themselves Bonesmen. Bonesmen equals 33. George W. Bush has a birth numerology of 33. In 1968, 33 years before 9/11, 911 made the 911 made the National Emergency Dialing Code. World Trade Center construction began. George W. Bush graduated from Yale and Skull and Bones. 1968. Same year, Robert Kennedy was assassinated on the 156th day of the year. Robert Kennedy equals 156. Martin Luther King Jr. killed on April 4th, 4/4. When you write out April 4th, it sums to 144. When you write out 44, it sums to 144. Robert Kennedy would die at 1:44 in the morning. His brother had died years earlier. First day of Sagittarius, which equals 144. All of our history is by these numbers. Redundancy. Scripting. We said Hillary Rodham equals 144. Trying to be the 44th president. Sometimes these numbers are fateful, sometimes they aren't. But it's always the same numbers. George W. Bush was born 68 days, or he had his birthday 68 days before September 11th. You know, graduating in 68, all that stuff happening in 68. He becomes the president. His birthday's 68 days before 9/11. This is all part of a sick, planned out agenda, a ritual. Why do you think they had his stupid ass in a classroom reading a book? Down in Florida where his brother is, Jeb. Jeb, the 43rd governor of Florida. Bush, the 43rd president. They're from New Haven, Connecticut, where Yale is, where Skull and Bones is. Yale equals 43. Scripted. Supposedly, on May 26, 2016, Donald Trump clinched the nomination, and I don't even want to talk about what a joke that is, you know? I have several videos on Donald Trump. This nation is a joke, something I've understood since I was 18. It doesn't surprise me to see a doofus such as Donald Trump on the TV running for president and the sheeple supporting him. But just recognize, this is all part of an agenda, all part of a planned narrative. Nobody likes Hillary Clinton. The only way they can make her passable as president is to put up somebody like Donald Trump. You know, a comb over, orange skin, making idiotic remarks such as, you know, my dad just gave me $1 million in 1968 to start a business. I've done well for myself. Can you imagine if you got $1 million to start a business in 1968, what you could do with that? Donald Trump says it like he's in the mainstream. You know, like that's normal. $1 million in 1968 is a lot of money. These people are so out of touch, and somehow the sheeple, they support them. It's the kind of nation we live in. Powers that be, they've really dumbed down the populace. Chemicals in the water, chemicals in the food. You know, the functioning IQs in this nation, they're not that high. Look at this creepy picture from Hillary and CNN. History's muted moment. This was the next day, June 7th. Clinton largely silent upon clinching nomination. Have you noticed there really hasn't been much of Hillary Clinton this whole election cycle? It's been all focused on Donald Trump, the stooge, that in the end will fall to Hillary. Anyhow, this headline, Hillary's muted moment, gematria of 87, just like the name Clinton, from Hillary's birthday to inauguration days, 87 days. It's all set up. June 7th headline. You got to like the 157 timestamp. United States equals 157. Muted moment for the United States. So anyway, the day she clinched is also 49 days before the start of the Democratic Convention. And where's the Democratic Convention this year? It's in Philadelphia, the city named from Revelation, the original capital of the nation. The flag was sewn at 239 Arch Street in Philadelphia. The country's 239 years old right now. From June 6th to the nomination, 49 days. Why is 49 important? Again, because Revelation equals 49. Revelation, where the name Philadelphia comes from. Right now, the basketball team from Philadelphia that now plays in Golden State, the Warriors, has gematria 49. Think about Bay Area sports, 49ers. Numbers of revelation, numbers of prophecy. And what we're living out is a man-made, contrived prophecy following the numbers from the book of Revelation. It's what's been going on in this nation ever since it began. And in a second, we're going to talk about the deeper connections between Hillary and Revelation and prophecy in this nation. Democratic National Convention, July 25th to 28th, following the Republican Convention, that's July 18th to the 21st in Cleveland. Now think about this. The NBA Finals are going on right now. It's Cleveland versus the Warriors. Republican Convention in Cleveland. The Warriors originally from Philadelphia. This article just came out about how the NBA Finals is connected to election history. In the history of the NBA, in the time that the Western Conference has won the NBA championship, a Republican has won the election. And in the time that the Eastern Conference has won, a Democrat has won the election. Think about that. Cleveland represents the East. If they win, historically, that means Hillary will become the president. If the Warriors win from Philadelphia, then a Republican will win. Isn't that kind of strange? None of this stuff is coincidence. This is how it's all scripted. This is how it's all planned. I've been showing the world of current events and sports are controlled by the same Masonic gang. It's all a script. It's all an act. It's all part of the same agenda. It's a monumental mocking. Notice this streak began with Kennedy and the Celtics winning. Where's Kennedy from? From Massachusetts, just like the Celtics. The next was Jimmy Carter with the Celtics, which is interesting. Jimmy Carter from Georgia, Celtics, Massachusetts. When the Boston Celtics went to 10 NBA Finals championships in a row, they only got beat by one team, the Hawks, that went to Georgia. I wonder if there's a parallel there with that. Very possible. And then, look here. More recently, the Chicago Bulls and the Clinton. Remember Bill Clinton's father murdered coming back from Chicago? Hillary from Chicago. Obama, Massachusetts. Obama, Florida. So anyhow, just trying to clue you in to how all of this is scripted and rigged. I guess while we're on that note, I'll show you this article too real quick. This was CNN just the other day. Stephen Curry to skip Olympics in Rio. Rio has gematria 42, like NBA Finals, like Stephen, like Freemason. Look at this picture right here in the background. Curry for president. And what they put out in the media, it's all part of a subtle cluing in. You know, we're talking about how the NBA championship has to do with the presidency. Curry equals 85, just like Hillary, just like basketball, you know? Someone born into it, his father in the NBA before him. His teammate, Klay Thompson, his father in the NBA before him. They're all born into these Masonic traditions. These are the people ruling over us. So now here's another headline. This is from today, June 8th. Hillary Clinton's historic moment. Gematria of 147, like the master builder number, special numbers in numerology. But what really stands out here is the opening paragraph. 96 years after women won the right to vote, a woman stands a chance of winning the White House. Of course 96 years. Freemason equals 96. It is the Freemasons ruling over us, you know, by the numbers. Hillary Clinton, 96 years later. All right, so Hillary, she announced her bid for the presidency April 12th, 2015. April 12th, special day, the 102nd day of the year, the date in history the Civil War began. In Revelation, where Philadelphia is named, it talks about the key of David, this important thing in bringing about prophecy. Key of David equals 102. United States of America equals 102. Hillary was born on a date with 102 numerology. Born in October on the 26th day in the year 47. October is the only month with 33 gematria, like the name Clinton. If you watch my first video, when I had a lot less understanding, I explained how the most important numbers are 26, 33, 47, 74. That's what I understood at that point. I said if you know those numbers, you'll recognize a lot. Look at when she's born. October, the only 33 months, 26th day in the year 47, you know? Born to be. So anyway, she announces her candidacy on April 12th, the 102nd day, so fitting, as the future president of the United States of America. Let me remind you the other significance of 102. Fuck you equals 102. The 9/11 attacks lasted 102 minutes, which her husband were a part of, which the president following her was a part of, which all of these presidents are a part of, which Obama's very much a part of, continuing on the policies of 9/11, the Patriot Acts, the wars, all the wrongdoing, the military spending, the police spending, the domestic surveillance. It's all part of an ongoing agenda, and all these presidents are actor agents that help fuel it on. This attack was blamed on Al-Qaeda. Al-Qaeda equals 102. Remember, all the hijackers were from Saudi Arabia, and the people from Israel were over in New Jersey filming the attack because they said they knew it was going to happen and they were here to document it. Our two allies. All the attackers from Saudi Arabia, our ally. People here from Israel to document the attack, our ally. Our ally. Who did we go to war with? Did we go to war with Saudi Arabia and Israel? No. We continued to send them billions of dollars in aid. What did we do? We went to war with their neighbors who didn't have shit to do with the attack. We went to war with the boogeyman, the cave dweller. These numbers are for real. This is what it's all about. 9/11 was a fuck you. Hillary Clinton's a fuck you. Everything in this country is a fuck you. Going to school, to push paper, to circle bullshit, trivial information your whole life, that's fuck you. This nation is called fuck you. If I became the president, I'd let everybody know. If we're going to continue the way things are, let's change the name to fuck you so we can see what it really is. Look at this shit. Look at this story. Caucusing for Clinton at 102 years old. This is the kind of news stories they feed us. Bullshit by the numbers. Here she is, Ruline Steininger, a Jew. A Jew. She probably says she lived through the Holocaust. The Masonic Jew Zionist lie agenda. Why does everyone in this world have all these sympathy for these Jews, for this Holocaust that never happened? Because they've been programmed to believe. Believe, another 33 word. You know, nobody cares about the real genocides that happened to other people. The natives, the Armenians, the Russians. Nobody cares about those genocides. Nobody knows about them here, but they have all this sympathy for the Holocaust that didn't even happen. Yeah, people got put in prison camps. That happened. Yeah, people died of starvation and scurvy. The Red Cross documented 200,000 Jewish deaths, supposedly in prison camps. Guess what? The same amount of Japanese died here in the United States in prison camps from the exact same causes. Is there stories about how the U.S. government gassed the Japanese? No, there's not. But there just as easily could have been, you know? And it would also be bullshit. Just like the Holocaust is bullshit. Okay, so moving on. From the date that she announced to election day is 576 days. And this is interesting because the word Freemason in English gematria is 576. Remember, all this stuff is scripted by the numbers, planned out according to these systems. In this story where it talks about the 102-year-old woman caucusing for her, they show this old footage of Hillary on November 23rd, 1999, saying she intends to run for president someday. What's interesting about that date is it has numerology of 133, just like government, just like White House. And again, from her birthday to election or inauguration day, 87 days, just like Clinton. Her campaign, fighting for us. Who's us, right? Fighting for us. She's not fighting for us. She's fighting for the tyrants who she represents. This is the New World Order, Masonic, Zionist, Jesuit, Illuminati agent candidate. Fighting for us. 87, just like Clinton. Just look at these headlines here, you know. You pay attention to these numbers, you see how they put them up all the time. It's all a joke, it's all scripting, it's all programming. From the election to January 20th is also 73 days. Hillary Clinton, 73. Her first term will end at age 73. The word perfect, 73. Hillary Clinton, the perfect age to be president as a woman. Just take a look around at what's going on in society, you guys. Look at what's going on TV. You know, more and more women action heroes, women kicking men's asses. Everyone's into this Game of Thrones show, which is what? All about women taking over, women coming to power, you know, homosexuality, feminizing men. This is all the agenda by the gang. It's bigger than just the presidency. It's the whole show. It's all of the programming we're exposed to. It's all about feminizing the men of the world. You know, think about it from the perspective of tyrants. Who's the real threat to them? Men or women? You know, imagine if you could get the men off their asses, off their couches from their rigged sports game, you know. They would be the threat to the powers that be. The women can be part of that too. I don't mean to leave you out, women, but, you know, us men, we're more threatening creatures. And that's why they want to feminize us, dumb us down, sedate us. This is what's happening at this moment in history. Go look at the younger generations, you know? Much more feminine than they were 10 years ago. All right, Truth Seeker, until next time.